Hello and welcome back to JVCTR. For those that are new, my name is Johnny and today we're going to tart up my engine bay. Yes, so today I'm going to be talking you through like the wimpy way to just clean an engine bay. Didn't mean to rhyme, but anyway, the reason I say it's the wimpy way is because I don't really want to use too much water. I don't really want to remove the battery, and if I'm going to be honest, the car's only covered 12,000 miles, so it's not like it needs a real deep clean anyway. So in terms of where we're going to go from, here's a few shots of my engine bay now. And here's a few shots of my engine bay when we're done. Now, in terms of where to start, well, actually, I started at home. Now, if you watch this channel regularly, you will know that I complain about my drive being on a hill and I can't really do anything there and I don't like filming there. But that's why we're here today. But anyway, in terms of where to start, I actually started at home, which is just down the road, by doing a bit of a dry clean. So I took the hoover and I got as much dust out of there as I could. And it's also worth using some brushes and bristles and that kind of stuff to really agitate and get rid of any loose dirt before we start making a mess, really. Now, if you want to follow the JVCTR wimpy way of cleaning your engine bay, I'm going to stick with that rhyme, then this is what you will need. So you need a selection of brushes. As you can see, I've got a large brush, a small brush, and even an old toothbrush just for those tiny little crevices. A selection of old, slightly used microfiber cloths because I don't want to ruin my nice ones. Some trim restorer plastic stuff. I'm using Meguiar's Ultimate Black because I've used it before and it's pretty good. I've also got some Meguiar's Quick Max for any paintwork that's exposed under the engine bay, just to give it a bit of protection once we're done. I will also be adding some carbon fibre effect stuff supplied by Paintmodz today. So to apply them, I also need some glue and tar remover. So I've got some Auto Finesse Obliterate. See what they did there? That's pretty cool. And then just because I'm not at home, I've got some clean water in here and some pre-mixed Autoglym body shampoo, just in case to help with cleaning. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Now, for the first wet, or rather damp stage, I used a microfiber in soapy water. I used this to clean as many of the open areas as I could. I then took a second microfiber and used the clean water to effectively wash off the soap that I just applied. I continued using this methodology across the engine bay, ensuring that the soapy water did not dry on the car. Now remember, nearly everything in your engine bay is at least splash proof, as it is open to the elements, but there are some areas where you don't want too much water to enter. For example, the wells in which your spark plugs reside. Easy to get water in, not so easy to get water out, so be mindful of the amount of water you're using in each area. This methodology is reasonably safe, however, as you can only apply as much water as a microfiber can hold, and that should be okay. I then moved on to using brushes in the areas that are more tricky to access.
Now, of course, once you've done all that, you need to dry it all off. Thankfully today we're in the sun, so there's not actually too much drying off to do, but of course, just use a simple microfiber now and get wiping.
And of course, if you do come across any parts of the engine bay you previously missed, you can do all 3 steps in quick succession. I have no idea how I totally forgot to clean my induction kit first time round, but here we are.
So that is my engine bay cleaned. As you can see here, quite a lot of stuff came out of it. It's a bit grim, really. Anyway, next step is to install the Paintmodz stuff, which is really quite cool. Unfortunately, my camera's just about to run out of battery, so I'm gonna have to finish this at home. But in the meantime, take a look at the glorious Paintmodz engine covers.
I first came across Paintmodz as a company when they seemed to be the best quality and best value company for painting the fog surrounds on the Mark 7 Fiesta ST. Literally everyone was painting them gloss black to match the grille. As time has gone on, they have diversified from not only painting parts, but making their own parts as you see here, and then offering a variety of finishes on them too. These are hydro dipped in carbon fibre effect, but of course, Paintmodz can hydro dip in pretty much any pattern or colour you'd like. If that's not your thing, then you can have them painted, or you can just have plain black plastic to make them look OEM.
Okay, so here I am back at home. I don't particularly like filming here because it's not very picturesque and it's also on a bit of a hill, which is a right pain in the arse. But anyway, next step is to clear any of the areas that we're going to stick stuff to with tar and glue remover, just to make sure we get good adhesion.
We'll start with the easiest of the Paintmodz enhancements, the washer bung. Simply remove the OEM cover by unhooking it. To install the Paintmodz bung, well, it couldn't be simpler, just shove it in. Although, make sure the ST logo is not on the wonk, as that would really frustrate me. The coolant cover is pretty easy too. Simply take the supplied stickers and apply them evenly on the underside of the cover. Remove the coolant lid, be careful here and only do this if the coolant is cool. If it's hot, you may scald yourself when opening it. When the lid has been removed, peel the other side of the stickers off and slide the cover into position. This may take some wiggling, and be mindful of the AC pipe, which can scratch the paint if you aren't careful. Once in place, press firmly down to secure and replace the coolant cap. I then applied the coolant cap using the same method as using sticky pads on the underside, and voila! The coolant tank looks sick, mate. The cap for the brake reservoir is also applied using the same method as the coolant cap. Now, when fitting the aircon pipe cover, I wanted to showcase my finest camera skills. Apologies. Anyway, this is installed using Velcro applied to the flat part of the pipe. Once applied, simply place the aircon pipe over the top and push down. At the other end, I applied the supplied anti-vibration tape, but I had a few small fitment issues. The oil cap cover is actually one of my favourite pieces, and my word is it easy to install. Next up is the battery cover. Now, as I have an induction kit, Paintmodz recommended this cover for the front of the battery. It looks to be a genuine 4-part, and of course Paintmodz are happy to paint in whichever colour you'd like. To fit this, you'll need a 10mm socket to remove the positive connection on your battery, and then it's just a case of sliding the cover down the front of the battery housing in the pre-existing grooves. Replace the positive terminal on the battery to complete. The cover for the top of the battery is fitted over the existing battery brace bar. Do not remove the brace bar, as it's an MOT failure for one, and it's also a severe safety hazard. If you find that the Paintmodz cover doesn't fit over the two bolts, you may need to loosen them off and pull them in tighter together. There is movement in them, and this will just ensure that the battery is held a little tighter by the brace. Once the cover is sat over the bolts, use the supplied nuts to secure the cover in place. This has got to be my second favourite item in the kit, as I think it looks awesome. Now, last up is the fuse box cover. This is applied using Velcro so you can remove it easily, and it's just a case of removing the backing off the Velcro, putting the cover in position, and then pushing firmly down.
So that is all the Paintmodz stuff fitted, and the engine bay is starting to look quite good. There's a slight issue with fitment on the AC cover, which I've emailed Paintmodz about. Hopefully they'll give us an answer before the end of this video. But otherwise, we're going to move on to the detailing phase. So as I mentioned in the intro, we've got some trim restorer just to make sure that the black plastics are blacker than black. And then I've also got some quick wax, which I'll use on the painted areas. Now, the Fiesta ST doesn't have that many painted areas in the engine bay, but it does have a lot of Paintmodz stuff in it now. So I'll apply some quick wax to the Paintmodz stuff just to give it that little bit of protection.
Time has been so hard on us, my friend. Sun goes down, but we get back again. Trouble is a silly thing, it always ends up breaking, but everything still works out in the end. No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no way they'll ever get it.
And there you have it. One cleaned, tarted up, and protected engine bay.
So there you have it, that's how you clean your engine bay the wimpy way and also install all of the Paintmodz goodies, which I think look really quite nice. Now all the Paintmodz stuff is available in a variety of finishes, paints, colours, they do hydro dipping, they do all sorts, and they all look quite cool. So feel free to check out the website, link in the description. And if you found this video useful, helpful, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me and my Fiesta and other car content, then feel free to subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.
There goes a sight from my soul.